good morning everyone, happy Sunday and welcome back to Open Here with me, Enby Andy. And it's a new week, it's a new video, so thank you for tuning in and watching it. Now, as usual, we have a few topics to cover sent in by you, the viewers. And we'll go through, we'll discuss, and if you've got any questions or comments based on what we've discussed, you can always get in touch afterwards. So this week, if you're sitting comfortably, we're going to discuss, first of all, where do I see myself in 10 years' time? Then we're going to discuss book recommendations. And then we're going to move on to discussing how to make someone feel loved and accepted. So some good topics, and I hope we have a good chat about them. So first of all, where do I see myself in 10 years' time? I mean, it's a bloody good question. Hopefully happy, healthy, with a job I love. The job I'm in currently, I'm waiting for my redundancy to happen. I've been in the job for a number of years now, and redundancy was always going to happen. And it should happen around about December, so I'm waiting for a nice redundancy check to say goodbye to the company and help me find a new future. And where I will be in the future, what kind of job, I don't know. I would love to work in something like an LGBTQ plus charity, or something doing good, something that's going to help people. I've got a lot of transferable skills, so if you've got a job going, let me know. So yeah, my work's going to change, that's one thing. And also, in 10 years' time, I would really like the kind of opinion on trans and non-binary people to be so much better. Right now, within the UK, we are kind of hated, we're victimised, we're looked down on, and we get a lot of abuse. So in 10 years, a lot can change. I mean, look back to 10 years, I've got to try and remember, 2011. 10 years feels like year 2000. But 2011, a lot's changed since then. It can only really get better. I would like to see non-binary as an option on things like passports and driving licenses, things like that. I want to see us more accepted and being able to be ourselves without any kind of fear of comments or violence. And we can make that change. We've got to keep being ourselves. We've got to keep pushing our people's awareness of who we are and what we're about and what being non-binary means. And the more we are our true authentic selves, the more that it'll change in the future, I believe. So check back in 2031 and let's see where we are with that. I'll be a 46-year-old non-binary person in hopefully a much better space within the UK. So let's see how that goes. Now, number two, someone asked me to do some book recommendations. Now, I've got 3 books here, and the first 2 I'm going to recommend for kids. Now, it's not just if you're non-binary or trans, it's also quite a good thing to raise the awareness of kids and make them aware of what is okay in society. At an early age, kids are the future, and the only way we will see change is if we educate our kids to make them aware that there's more out there than just being what society says you have to be. So the first one I got for my kids is Jacob's New Dress. Now this is a book all about what society says you can and can't wear. And the main message in the story is that clothes are gentlest. Jacob is a little boy who goes to school. He remains a little boy, but he likes to wear dresses. And the important story throughout is he only wants to feel comfortable in a dress. He feels happy in himself in a dress. And there's a little lad in there who bullies him, but his mum, his dad, his teacher and his friends all rally around him and support him, and he wears what he wants. And it's quite a lovely little story which my kids love. And then we have a book on being trans, which is called Introducing Teddy. And Teddy starts off as a male bear, and he's very sad. He doesn't want to go to the park. He feels isolated. He doesn't want to do anything. And he tells his best friend that well, actually he wants to be a girl bear. And they accept him, he makes the change, life carries on, it's still the same person, he's just more expressing of who he is, of who she is, rather. So it's a lovely little story, which again my kids love, and it's all about kind of just making them aware that things can be different. So if you've got kids, I would definitely recommend Jacob's New Dress and Introducing Teddy. And then for adults, may seem a bit random, but The Fifth Elephant by Terry Pratchett. Now, I don't know if you're aware, on Twitter recently, there's been a lot of hoo-ha, people trying to put an opinion in Terry's mouth. Sadly, Terry Pratchett's passed away, and they're trying to say he was against transgender people. Neil Gaiman and his daughter are pushing and saying, well, no, that's not true. He was fully supportive, they knew him best, and he was an advocate for transgender people. And it's kind of clear when you read The Fifth Elephant and other books which concern the dwarves in the Discworld world. Dwarfdom, it's a very rigid society where everyone appears as a man, but when they become part of a modern society, Ankh-Morpork, some of them decide, well, actually I want to be able to express my inner femininity. And that's what some of them do. And this book shows that. It shows that Terry Pratchett accepted that people can change and people can be who they want to be. And it's about challenging society and their views and challenging kind of dogmatic practices of you must be a man or you must be a woman. You can be who you want to be, you can dress how you want, and you can challenge society's norms. So I definitely recommend Sir Terry Pratchett's books, not just because they're genius anyway, but if you're interested in kind of a subtle discussion on trans rights and non-binary rights, Sir Terry Pratchett was a very good egg, and I would recommend the Discworld books. Now, question 3 was how to make someone feel loved and accepted if they're non-binary. And I think for this one, the kind of question, you don't even need that non-binary thing. How would you make someone feel loved and accepted if they weren't non-binary? You would accept who they are. You would love them. You would support them. You would include them. And appreciate them for who they are. And just because someone's non-binary doesn't mean they've changed as a person. So the same kind of way of supporting someone, the same kind of way of how you appreciate someone and make them feel safe and loved applies. I don't believe that becoming out as non-binary means we're different people. I don't believe that we've changed massively. So why should the way that you support someone change massively? When it comes to coming out as non-binary, it's a scary thing. It's terrifying. You are opening yourself up to the world and trying to put your hand up and say, this is me. And there's also so much different. I mean, for me, being gender fluid and mostly presenting as femme, I'd say about 80% of the time, I've had to learn so much about feminine clothing, makeup, etc., etc. And there's so much to learn. So if you have someone who's come out and they're asking you for support, give it to them unconditionally. There's so much to learn, there's so much to do, and it's fun to do it, but it can feel like a minefield. It can feel like, where the hell do I start? So if you have someone who is out, and needs your support, please give it to them. If you're unsure of any terms or how they're feeling, or if you want any kind of support if you want support from other people to support them, reach out and ask. The best thing you can do is be open and honest and help people and ask questions and support them. And if someone is against them, if someone refuses to accept who they are, challenge those people. Challenge them. Don't let their kind of hatred and bigotry carry through. You need to make sure that you support this person, not just in words, but in acts. So as the suffragette said, deeds, not words. So those are the comments and questions we got for this week. I think they've been actually really good ones to cover. As usual, the floor is now yours. I'd like you to reach out to me either on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or on the YouTube comment section. Reach out to me. Tell me what you think about this video. Any kind of more book recommendations you would make around being non-binary and education. And also, yeah, any questions for me to cover on the next week. So, in the meantime, stay safe, stay friendly, and I will see you next week. Bye.